Early on in my design career, I would walk away from crits feeling more confused than I started and just overall not feeling confident in the work I presented and how I presented it. Now that I've been in product design for a while, and lately I've been working on a team that does a lot of design critiques, I feel like I've come a really long way. So in this video, I want to show you how I prepare for a design critique to make it a really beneficial and successful conversation. Hey friends, I'm Maddie if you're new. I'm a product designer currently working in food tech, and here on YouTube I make videos to help you design to live and not just live to design. If you, like me, are trying to excel in your design career but also maintain a balanced life and feel creative and passionate about what you do inside and outside of work, then definitely hit subscribe because that's what I like to share about here on this channel. So now let's get into the 6 things that I do to prepare for my design critiques. First, it's really important to remember that the goal of a design critique is not for everyone to love everything that you designed. The goal is for everyone to understand what we're trying to solve and have an opportunity to give feedback to make it better. It's honestly not possible for one single designer to think of every single use case and issue that might come up in a solution. So critiques are about getting other perspectives so that the final solution doesn't miss any marks. With that in mind, the first thing that I like to do is to write out the problem at the top of my design file. This should be the first thing that you address in your critique session. Even if everyone's generally understanding what the problem is, it's always a good idea to reiterate so that they can keep that problem in mind as they're looking at your designs. Number 2, take 1 or 2 minutes to show your research. What I like to do is pull screenshots and just a few points of data from Full Story, which is where our team gets our data, and summarize the implications for this specific design project. So let's say, for example, the problem we're solving is that many customers are producing errors when they input a phone number into the phone number field. I might go into Full Story and grab the percent of people that get errors on this specific field. I might go a little deeper and see exactly what errors are being produced, if I can find that information. And I might even go and see what percentage of those errors are leading to cart abandonment. So kind of comparing those who get the errors with those who don't make it to checkout. This can help me validate the importance of this project by tying it directly to a business metric, conversions. So I have one slide to show at the beginning of my design critique that looks something like this. Problem statement, some screenshots, stats of what you're seeing in those screenshots, and then a therefore statement that kind of reinforces the opportunity of this project. Keep it brief. Like I said, just spend 1 to 2 minutes summarizing this research. Tip number 3 is to lay out your designs in flows and prioritize and organize those by what's most important to show, since you may not get to show every single flow or use case. Organizing them like this can help you actually walk through like how a user would use your designs, which will make it a lot easier for people to really understand them and provide feedback. You could prototype your flows, but I find that this usually isn't necessary and takes a really long time. So if you can save the time and not do that, I think that's totally fine. However, if your solution relies heavily on interactions and animations, then I think it is a good idea to prototype for a critique. For example, maybe you're working to improve the clarity of error messages. So a big part of your solution would probably be how they animate in, where they are, how long these messages stay on the screen. This would be a really important thing to prototype so that your team can actually experience the solution and give feedback on it. Number 4, open a new page in your notebook or a new page on your note-taking app and jot down the questions that you have for the team. What kind of feedback are you looking for? I like to write down my questions with a bunch of space between each one that I can jot down notes during the session, and then I leave a bunch of space at the bottom too, or on the next page, to jot down anything that people bring up separately that don't have to do with my questions. It's also much easier and less distracting for your team if you just write things down like, you know, analog. That way you're not typing in comments during the critique, because they can all see that and that's a little bit distracting. So that's why I like to do it this way. Number 5, going along with that, make sure to note to the team what you would like feedback on right before you get into your designs. So maybe talk about your research and the problem that you're trying to solve, and then say, I would love feedback on, you know, could be as general as this flow and, you know, how it proceeds from A to B, or if there are any use cases that I might have missed. Or you could be more specific, like, you know, this screen looks really awkward and I would love ideas of how to lay it out better. Number 6, my last tip, is more about after the critique. There's really nothing worse than finishing a critique, going to your next few meetings, or even letting a few days pass, and then coming back and realizing that you totally forget what was talked about, you forget the main points, and you don't understand your notes. So what I really like to do right after a critique, or at least the same day, is go back and review my notes, make sure I'm clear on the action steps that I need to take. Do I need to reach out to anybody? Do I need to make any changes? And do that as soon as possible so you don't forget the outcome of the critique. All right, friends, that's all the tips I have for you today. I know I really wish I'd started doing this sooner, so hopefully you found this helpful and you'll implement some of these tips for your next critique. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!